Namaste. Welcome to this short video practice, which I'm recording for one of my one-to-one students, but I'm going to make available to everybody because it's a really nice way to wriggle out some tension from your neck and shoulders and jaw so that you can avoid tension headaches or that you can undo some of your habitual posture at the end of the day. So you're going to need some sort of length for this practice at some point, probably for most people, but we're just going to put that one to one side for now. And we're going to start. I'm going to stand because if you've been sitting all day, then it's often quite a nice thing to do. But if you prefer to do this practice sitting down, you can. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to step a little bit closer towards you so that you can see a bit better, is I'm going to use my fingers to just release a bit of tension from across the jaw. So if you find where your cheekbones are, just between the top jaw and the bottom jaw, around about the midway of the cheekbone, there is a cord of muscle. If you open and close your mouth, you can feel it. And we're going to place the first two fingertips just under the cheekbone on that cord of muscle. So just make sure you've got the right place. If you move your jaw around a bit, you'll feel it moving underneath your fingertips. And then press gently but firmly in. And as you press, you're going to open your jaw slowly. And then close it slowly. And when you've done that, you can move your fingertips one fingertip length down and do the same thing again. Just pressing gently but firmly in, opening the jaw. And closing the jaw. And then one more time down, opening the jaw. Closing. Pretty hard to do that and speak at the same time. And then you might have maybe one more bit just here where the bottom jaw, that muscle attaches there. So very good. And then when you've done that, you can just give your jaw a little wiggle from side to side. And then making your lips nice and loose, blow raspberries out. One more time. Excellent. And so that helps us to release tension from across the face and the jaw that we might have been holding during our day, particularly if you've had a stressful day. And there might be maybe other things that you like to do. You might massage around the face in general, or give the hairline and into the sides of the scalp a bit of massage, or I like to go particularly up the back of the neck, just gently pressing on either side and lifting towards the base of the skull. These are all nice things to do. Giving yourself a little bit of self-massage, self-love is a great thing to do at the end of your day. Be guided by your intuition, what feels good, but this particular one for releasing tension across the jaw is excellent. So let us move on with other things that we can do. We're going to do a little bit of Kati Chakrasana. So feet nice and wide apart, soft in the knees, nice and firm in the belly as you stand upright and gently twisting from side to side. I particularly like this for releasing tension from the neck and shoulders because it lets the arms be loose and long. So if you've been sitting at a typewriter, nobody sits at a typewriter, a computer doing this most of the day, or moving your mouse or shuffling papers, then perhaps something loose and languid movement for the arms is just what's called for. So you can allow your head to follow your movement if it feels good to do that, but keeping a little gentle lift through the belly muscles And then you can change this to be a little bit more forceful. So you can keep your head and hips steady and then allow the arms to wrap around the body a bit more vigorously, tapping or patting wherever they fall. And if we try and keep the hips steady by using the legs, the buttocks, the belly muscles, then we get the opportunity for doing a little bit more movement higher up the spine, in the thoracic spine, particularly across the back of the rib cage. When you're ready, you can just soften that movement and begin to perhaps pivot on your toes, turning from side to side, relaxing the arms down again, just giving them a little shake if they need it. And when you're ready, bringing your feet to steadiness and returning to center. And once you've lost that sense of momentum, give yourself another opportunity to lift. Just feel how the body feels. There's perhaps a little sense of opening or releasing, and we can roll the shoulders a few times to enjoy that and maybe promote that sense of releasing through the upper back, the neck, and the shoulders and the chest. Awesome sauce. So thinking about how we might move our bodies to stretch out or open the body in a different way. Let us turn now to moving the front and the back of the body rather than the sides. So we're going to round through the spine, bringing the backs of the hands towards each other, tucking the tailbone in, scooping in the belly, chin to chest, and then standing tall, drawing the elbows back, opening the chest, looking up, palms up, arms extended. And then just rounding through the shoulders, tucking the chin, soft in the knees, chin to chest, and standing tall, opening the front of the body as you move your arms back and open. So this is like a standing version of the cat-cow pose, which is always a good alternative if you prefer. But if you've been firm in your shoulders all day, sometimes being on the hands and knees isn't quite so nice because it's a lot of effort for the upper body. As this allows us to move much more freely in the upper body without that stress over the shoulder joints. One more time. Floating your arms down, just give yourself a little dancing shoulder, a little wiggle through the sides of the body perhaps. And any kind of sort of shaking or loosening. In somatics, we use that a lot, the sort of letting go of effort by shaking and releasing. Just, it's quite nice to do. It took me a long time to get used to doing it, but it's quite nice to do. So if you like that forward and backward movement, and you want to do something a little bit more fluid than that, then we can do what I call figure of 8 arms. So we take the arms back and down, and then as they come up and forward, we round through the spine, and as we lift them up and then back and down, we open the chest. And you can allow your body to move like a wave, so that that movement is not just in the arms and shoulders, but is also throughout the spine and the extremities, the legs as well. Be sure to allow your neck to move as your spine moves. Try not to hold it rigid or in an awkward position. A little bit of lift in the belly muscles, and a little bit of action across the buttocks is also useful here. Let's do one more. And then just coming to stillness again for a moment. Organize your spine upright, soften your shoulders down, just making note of how that feels in the body. Again, if it's that sense of release or relief, then that's perfect. That's what we're looking for, a sense of letting go. If you have been at a desk often in your day, you're quite forward folding. So the next posture that we're going to do is a movement that takes the chest open. So we've just done some preparation for the spine, and now we are going to need our belts. So I'm going to pop the belt over the right shoulder and then use the left hand. And we're going to ease the back of the left hand in towards the center of the spine and then up towards that space between the shoulder blades. This is my stiff side, so I definitely need the belt here. I'm going to hold onto my belt. And then with the other hand, my right hand, I'm going to reach out to the side and I want that arm to come up as close to my ear as possible. Slightly in front is okay if that's better for your shoulders, but we're aiming to get it close to the ear and the elbow close to the head before we bend the elbow and catch hold of the belt or your fingertips behind you if you can. So we want to draw the bottom elbow in, and as we do that, we can inch the hands higher up the belt. And we want to keep the top arm also moving in, so we don't end up sagging out to the side. It doesn't achieve what we want it to do. We want to avoid counterposing with the neck forward here. Just allow your head to be nice and relaxed, neck to be nice and relaxed in the center. Try also to avoid sticking your ribs up and out too much. So a little firmness and lift in the belly, and perhaps a little firmness across the buttocks as well also helps. Taking a few deep breaths here, thinking about opening the chest, that space underneath the rib cage, finding space there, finding a little bit of release in the front of the chest as well. And when you're ready to release, let go of your belt, slide your bottom hands down and around the hip and reach your top arm up and just turn the hand and float it down to your side. At the bottom of this movement, when you come back to neutral, make any small movements that are releasing, that allow you to sort of come back to center, shake out the arms, give yourself a little wiggle. This posture is called Gomukhasana, cow's face pose. It has legs to go with it as well, which we might use on a different day, but today just focusing on the upper body. So once you have released and you've felt the difference between the two sides, we are ready to practice to the other side. I've got the belt in place, but on this side I can clasp my hands together. You might find that one side is more open than the other as well. Slide the back of your right hand into all the way really across towards the other side of the body, and then bending at the elbow, bringing the hand up between the shoulder blades. We're reaching the left arm out to the left, and then bringing the left arm close to the head without moving the head to get towards the arm, and then bending at the elbow, bringing the hands together. And you can see that on this side, clasping the hands is more readily available. So if you can, that's what you do. It's a little improved sensation. We want to keep the elbows moving towards the spine, so moving in towards the center of the body, and particularly that top elbow moving slightly back as well. Try not to counterpose with your head. Leave your head in a nice relaxed position. Try not to overarch in the spine, keeping the belly muscles engaged, perhaps the buttocks slightly engaged. If you're standing, a little soft in the knees as well is good. And then just breathing, taking note of how it feels underneath the rib cage. Maybe you have a sense of open across the chest, or it might just feel like a really good tricep stretch in one arm, which is true, that is it. It does that too. And then when you're ready to release, after 5 breaths is best, or 10 if you can manage, sliding the bottom hand down and around your hip, reaching the top arm up, turning the palm and floating it down to your side. And when you release out of the posture, give yourself an opportunity to feel the effect of that work, to feel the sense of release or opening, expanding energy, whatever it might be in your practice. Awesome sauce. Okie dokie. So we're going to put the belt down to one side, and we're just going to do a little bit of one more thing for chest opening. So if you interlace your fingers behind you and then roll the elbows towards each other and bring the palms of the hands also towards each other. If you can do it like this, please do so. If you need to sag into the outside of your wrists, it's not as effective. So drawing the shoulder blades down to open your chest, Be careful not to counter pose or lift your rib cage too much. That's not what we're after. We're after the action coming from this space between the shoulder blades to open the chest, elbows towards each other. And you can gently draw your hands one way and then the other to get a little sway across the front of the body. Take care not to flare your ribs, nice and firm across the belly muscles. And when you've done a little side to side, you might like to extend the arms. And if the arms extend, you might like to lift the arms. And again, you can sway the arms from side to sway through the chest. It's just a little different sense of length and open. Or you might just like to gently pulse up to wherever feels good and down again. Whenever you're ready to release, just soften the arms back towards the body, release the hands, and just gently bring the arms forward. So you're not holding a big stretch and then bouncing straight out. You release slowly out, and then you get that delicious, warm, spreading, releasing motion. Feeling is what I mean. Feeling. Awesome sauce. So just give yourself a little dancing shoulder, dancing hip, wriggle through forwards and backwards. And now is probably a good time to do something for the neck as well. So we can draw the chin towards the chest, make a gentle smile here, and then just see if rolling the right ear towards the right shoulder feels good. And then chin to chest and left ear to left shoulder. Arms and shoulders nice and relaxed. If it feels good, you can go from side to side. If it doesn't, it's time to choose a different way to move your neck. So if you're happy going from side to side, you might expand that space. So you roll almost like 3/4, looking up, perhaps lifting the chin, and then coming back down and round. Same thing on the other side, looking up, lifting the chin. Coming back to center whenever you're ready with a soft smile, raise your head, bottom teeth over top teeth, and then lift the chin up towards the ceiling. And back to center, relaxing the jaw, wiggle the bottom jaw, wriggle the shoulders, feel the effect of your practice. So if you don't like this head rolling, then you can try head tilting instead. So starting from center, nice and firm in the belly, but soft in the shoulders, right ear to right shoulder, and then back to center, and then left ear to left shoulder. And it's great to go up and over from side to side a few times, just to see if that feels good. And I forgot to say that it's useful to have a block for this one. So if you have a block to hand, which I happen to, then you can use one. If you don't, a cushion will do. So what we're going to do is we're going to hold the block in the left hand, or not in the left hand, but between the left side and the left arm, and we're going to gently press the block towards the side of the body. We want to make sure that we haven't picked up the left shoulder first. So nice and relaxed, pressing the block towards the left side of the body, standing nice and tall, right ear to right shoulder. And that action on the block provides just a little better release across the side of the neck. Now, if you wished to add something to it, you can do a gentle lift and lower of the chin. It's quite subtle, you don't need to make a big movement, and just feel where that action is happening in your body and what feels good as a result of that action. When you're ready, you can gently draw yourself back to center. We'll take a moment in the center just to release anything that needs releasing. Sometimes it's nice to take a deep breath in and sigh out. And then the other side. Sighing helps to release tension that we hold in the throat and the top of the chest. So it's a really good thing to do, particularly if you've been stressed during your day. So same thing on the right. We want the right shoulder to be nice and relaxed, pressing the block gently towards the right side of the body. And then from center, lengthening up, and then left ear to left shoulder. And we're holding, just experiencing that slightly improved sensation down the side of the neck. And if you do this regularly, then neck rolling becomes much more comfortable. And if you wish to, you can add a really gentle lift and lower of the chin. Nice and smooth and steady. Doesn't have to be a big movement. And when you're ready, gently returning to center, releasing your block. You can place your block down. Probably not going to use it again, but you never know. Giving your shoulders a little roll, and then any small movements with your neck that feel good. So I like to do figure of eights with my nose. Well, they're sideways figure of eights, infinity signs, which is quite nice. And then you can go the opposite way. Excuse me. Just to get that sense of release. Oh, apologies. Ding happening somewhere in the kitchen. The next posture that I'd like to do is Dvikonasana, double angle pose. But to do this, we need to prepare with a forward bend. So we need a little softness in the knees, and then hands onto the hips. Allow the hips to come back, and then lengthening through the torso as you bring the torso about parallel with the floor. And here you could use hands on a block to reach the floor, or you could use a countertop or a chair, and you're just going to lengthen one leg and then the other. You don't have to lengthen them all the way straight. We're just looking for a little extra sense of length. And as you lengthen the back of the legs, you might feel a bit more comfortable in your forward bend. You might come a little deeper into it. You might work your way to your fullest expression of a forward bend in this moment. And when you do, you can relax your head, and then perhaps here hold elbow to elbow to let the back of the neck relax. And if that feels comfortable, you can do a gentle turn of the head or a nod of the head. You might do a sway of the chest from side to side as well. Anything that feels releasing and relaxing. And then to come back up again, we're going to build ourselves back up. So a little soft in the knees, looking forward, reaching the arms forward, dropping the bottom to stand all the way tall. And if it feels good, you can reach the arms over the head to open the chest and finish with the palms together at the center of the chest. Give yourself a little wiggle. Anything that needs moving can move. You can shake out the legs if it feels good to do that too. And then we're going to do Dvikonasana. So Dvikonasana is a combination of the posture that we did with the arms behind the body and a forward bend. And it's a really nice way to release the chest, to open up the front of the body, but it puts the head, the weight of the head puts the neck in a bit of traction, which is nice here as well. That can be really useful. If you have a tension headache, don't do this while you've got a tension headache, but do it in between to prevent tension headaches. Okay, so arms behind the body, interlacing the fingers, palms towards each other, rolling the shoulder blades towards each other, lengthening the arms. We're going to think about drawing the arms down as we lift the chest nice and firm in the belly, shoulder blades as close together as is comfortable, and then folding forward, bent knees from the hips, lengthening forward all the way down. And when you get down, relax the back of the neck and allow the arms to go to wherever they naturally fall. Nice and lifted in the belly muscles, nice and soft in the knees. And you might enjoy another little gentle nod or turn of the head, or simply holding in stillness here. You can try to draw the shoulder blades a little closer together and the arms a little closer to the floor over the head if you like, but you don't have to. When you're ready to finish, soften the elbows and the hands, let them drape towards the floor, and this time we'll roll up. So tuck the tailbone, scoop the belly in, chin to chest, rounding through the spine to come up to standing. As you come up to standing, opening your chest. If you're dizzy, stay here. If not, breathing in. Take the arms over the head, reaching up and breathing out, palms together at the center of the chest. Relax the arms down. Make any final movements that feel good in the body. And this is probably a great place to finish. So if you have enjoyed all of that movement and you feel released, don't be tempted to do too much and then take yourself the opposite way, if that makes sense. So as long as you feel a sense of release, you've maybe done some deep breathing through the practice, so your body is feeling the calmness and your mind is also absorbing that as well, then you can probably go about your day with much less likelihood of a tension headache and hopefully a much better night of sleep too. Be sure to check out the mudra that goes with this video, which I will maybe post a photograph of in the comments, but I will also show it to the person who this video is for, and also alternate nostril breathing or Chandra Vedana, moon breath, breathing in through the left nostril and out through the right, but using just your hands instead of closing the nose. Both of those videos, or both of those practices, go with this practice. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you again soon. Namaste.